Every time you think they can't get crazier at DC Comics, it does. It goes to show that SJWs always double down, and because they can't get news stories off their just simple, turning a character gay anymore, it's already been done so many times, it's just not even going to get on the radar. They have to make it even more degenerate and more disgusting than ever before. This is exactly what Tim Sheridan promised he would do for his Allan Scott Green Lantern several months ago. If you remember, he made a video out there pleading people to buy this and own the bigots in Comicsgate. And of course, it didn't work. Issue number 1's sales were terrible. Issue number 2's sales just flew off the charts. As much as they try to pretend they're successful with all this stuff, it always fails every single time. Well, now in Green Lantern issue number 3, Tim Sheridan actually has pushed this agenda even further. It looks like a weird self-insert sort of thing where he's assuming everybody agrees with his creepy lifestyle. And this is exactly what he pushes in this, as he forces the characters to agree with his creepy lifestyles, whether it makes sense or not. We're going to get into the news in just a moment. Guys, hit the like and subscribe button. Join us here. We are covering comic book news. And of course, I'm a comic writer myself. I have award-winning books. I have best-selling books. And I am blacklisted from the mainstream industry, all because I tell the truth here on this channel. But I do make excellent content. So if you miss good superhero tales of the past, I have Dynamite Thor. I have Flying Sparks. Here's one that a lot of people just missed out on, The Cosmic Warrior, which really, if you love Green Lantern, I would highly recommend you check this one out. I think this will be something that we can build going forward and make some beautiful books of. This is the first graphic novel in that series. And of course, it's available on my web store. That's in the description below, along with all my other links. So thank you guys so much for checking out our comics. I appreciate it. These will ship out right away. So Allan Scott is shown to frequent homosexual prostitutes in new Tim Sheridan Green Lantern issue. I'm dead serious. It's like, writing this headline this morning, I was like, gosh, I can't believe this is where we're at. And it's really weird that the whole issue is not only spent talking about this, but also like having Allan Scott like get hugs and validation from other people, that it's totally okay for him to go down to the docks and just pick up male prostitutes, pay them money for sex, and then call that love at the end of the day. Getting off is not love. That is just getting off. And that is what people are doing here. And of course, this is set in like the 1940s. So when you really look at this with these Golden Age characters, the way they talk makes no sense whatsoever. Nobody would ever think this. And actually, even today, prostitution and male prostitution and all that's really disgusting. Like, you can't get around that. You're not going to just call this some like two dudes doing whatever they want in the privacy of their own home. It gets absolutely crazy in this issue. So we've talked about this before, and in this issue and in this series, this came from the first issue. Allan Scott's got a boyfriend here, and you see that they are just half naked together, laying together, cuddling each other, giggling with each other, being just flamboyant homosexuals like they would be in a pride parade. And this is the first issue here. And so you thought, gosh, it can't possibly get worse from there. And yes, we're going to add in the Spectre. Now, the Spectre, of course, being God's agent of vengeance, will of course condemn these acts. And oh wait, it's going to get crazy, my friends. So here it is at the very beginning. We see Allan Scott here in plain clothes, hiding at the docks, talking to this guy named Mikey. This doesn't sound weird. And Mikey remembers him. Scotty, right? Yeah, I'm looking for someone. Aren't we all? But either we got to be quick or head to your place, because the blues are out in force. So Scotty, who is clearly a homosexual prostitute trolling down on the docks, of course, says, we got to go to your place to hide from the cops here for our illegal prostitution. Now, again, 2023, prostitution remains illegal. And so this would be a similar situation in 2023. And these guys could go to jail, not for their sodomy acts at this point, but just because this is a transactional thing, which is a health crisis. This is a very bad and risky behavior, going out and doing this with anonymous men in the street. I can't believe this has to be explained as to why this is bad at this point. But this is Tim Sheridan. In his mind, this is good behavior. This is what normal people do, because this is what, I guess, him and his friends might be up to. I don't know. You're going to have to ask Tim Sheridan that. But gosh, it really reeks of self-insert here when you kind of look at this, because these are not the way these characters have ever acted before. And so here it is. It's for our protection. They suddenly want to save us. They say, save us from what? Well, probably AIDS or monkeypox, things like that. If I were to guess, right? It goes on further, and of course, Allan Scott is investigating into these prostitutes' deaths. One of them, he very much makes clear in the issue that he knew, in the biblical sense, who is dead on his way out there. And here it is. The Spectre comes, and instead of being like, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't be out there banging gay prostitutes. That is something sinful, and God doesn't like this." He instead says that the people who would criticize Allan Scott's lifestyle are, quote, less enlightened. And here you go. It's obviously Tim Sheridan talking through his characters, being like, I'm going to validate my lifestyle. I'm going to validate my friends' lifestyles right here. And I'm going to make sure that the heroes all know that, like, less enlightened people would only disagree with going out and banging gay prostitutes all the time. Take heed of me, Green Lantern, for I am Spectre. This is my department, he says. God's retribution isn't reserved for men like Robbie Kane or Will Thomas or Allan Scott. It belongs to those who would judge them. So judging, saying, hey, we don't want prostitution, male prostitution, to be legal. We want to protect our society from sexually transmitted disease and, of course, human trafficking and things like that, because that's what all this stuff does end up leading to at the end of the day. That judgment's a bad thing. It's not doing the acts. Absolutely crazy. He goes further, and if you look, I mean, this is really weird with Allan Scott, like, crying and hugging Spectre's shoulder. I mean, this is the Spectre. I mean, how out of character can you possibly get here? This is crazy. The difference between you and those who deserve divine punishment is you stand up. You put on the ring and the cape and try with all your power to do good. Now, this is something interesting, and Ethan Van Sciver pointed out that this is what the SJWs do in almost all of their stories. They have a character in there to tell you what they're doing is good, because they can't just show you. Comics is a visual medium, and of course, the cardinal rule for writing is show, don't tell. If you are trying to present a character as heroic, as good, you just show them doing those heroic acts, people understand that immediately. But every single SJW book can't do that because they know that this is not good. They know that most people will not see this as good. And so they have to go, you know what? I'm going to patronize you right now and tell you this is good behavior, and you better accept it's good behavior, bigot. And when you read this, it pulls you out of the comic. It just makes you go, huh, I didn't see him doing anything good. I just saw him prancing around for 20 pages, whining about dead prostitutes who was banging while he had a boyfriend. Very weird. It's creepy behavior. And here it is. You honor his creation. This is where they bastardize it. Like, they're actually using the Spectre to, create their own religion and actually blaspheme against God in the process. This is what they do every single time. If God himself didn't want you to love, then how could you? Now, this is very similar to something Tom King did in the Wonder Woman. Like their dialogue's almost exactly the same, which is how you know this is a coordinated effort across the DC line. You know it's an agenda. In Tom King's Wonder Woman, which also came out this month, there's a kid who is like into girly things, and he's dying of cancer, and he just wants to be a girl at the end of the day. And Wonder Woman goes, oh, no, God's not punishing you for that. God loves you. She does this exact same dialogue for his creepy behavior in that, which we already covered in another video. This is what they do. They try to subvert good morality. They try to subvert everything that points to truth, and they try to make evil good and good evil at the end of the day. And that's exactly what the Spectre says is happening here. And as you see, they go back to a picture of the two men naked hugging each other, saying it's somehow God's will that this is occurring instead of absolute hedonism and evil. It's quite the opposite. God commands us to, if we have the base instincts to do something that is immoral, God commands us to overcome that. That's the difference between us and animals. We don't just go do it in the road uncontrollably. We're not animals. We are made in the image of God, and we can stop these sort of things. But Tim Sheridan wouldn't know anything about that, as Tim Sheridan doesn't actually have any real religion other than his own hedonism, as you could tell right here. It's disgusting what he's done to Green Lantern, even more disgusting what he's done to Spectre, who's supposed to be an agent of God. I mean, absolutely crazy that this happened in here. And it's only going to get worse from DC Comics from here, because they always double down every single time. You know it. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this, my friends. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out The Cosmic Warrior if you want something a little different than this that's actually good. Real morals, real values, heroism. Get this on my web store today. You'll absolutely love it. Thank you guys for the support. See you soon.